Well, here we are getting ready to play Sands of the Sudan. And Mike, you're our GM today. Take it away.
Well, today we've got a set of rules that we're playing, Sands of Sudan, and it is my job to prevent these infidels from escaping via their waterway and their small little ferry from getting back to England.
What do you mean?
Because we're trying to make sure that the infidels are buried like they should be in the sands. Osmandinga has given me the great honor of keeping them from achieving whatever objectives and whorehouses they're let to go off to. So that's my goal.
All right. Well, I'm going to go and check our British players. We have Commander Derrick here. Derrick, what are you in command of today?
The left side with Camel Corps. And
Kevin, what are you in command of today?
Sir! I've got my Scots again.
So, Jim O'Neill in Scotland, just so you know, once again, Kevin, do you have anything you'd like to say?
We're going to give these heathens one up the jumper again today.
All right, now Walt is in a rare position. He is not our GM. He is actually playing as a player. So, Walt, what are you in command of?
Am I in charge of the Brits? No, you're leading. You're in charge.
I'm not in charge.
You're in charge. You're leading the Scots.
You never put us
in the ranks already.
No.
And I'm right behind you. So, I'm running a Camel Corps. And of course, when these guys move on and they go to fight, they dismount. They didn't fight mounted. So basically, I'm running Brits. And my only concern is the right flank is being run by you.
Well, hold on. I need to comment on that. And I, of course, have the superior Egyptian troops once again. And as you can see, I'm formed in line. These units will come in behind there. And I will follow Kevin's orders to the last.
Also, we have at the very end down here.
All right, well, let's look at the rest of our table. It is 12 feet long, right, Walt?
Yes, it is.
And oh my gosh, it's none other than Goober the Traveling Bear wearing his Chuckle Heads shirt. And Walt has our gunboat, which is, we need to get to the gunboat, heavily armed with an artillery piece.
Yeah, it's not a ferry boat.
And a Gardner gun. And I think 12 sailors. So, hopefully, we will have no issues marching through the desert. And I think we need to come back to our Sudan commander of the Arab forces. Mike, any last words?
It's all quiet on the desert front.
Okay, it's all quiet. All right, everybody, let's start our game. And Walt, who is in overall command again?
Oh, Colonel Handsome is.
No, absolutely not me.
Colonel Handsome. Now, real quick, our goal is to get to the village and to be able to load with the boat for supplies. So that's what the goal of the British is. We're starting off in a square formation, some of the squares off the table. The Mahdi has got like 10 spots on the table where he can ambush from. In this set of rules, every time we get within a foot of an ambush site, we have to roll. And if the Mahdi rolls a 1 or a 2, an ambush pops up. Every turn, the Mahdi will pull a card, and that card will show what's coming on the board for the Mahdi people, or it could be a special event that might affect the British, like low ammunition, things like that. There's also a card in there called the drums start or stop card, and this is where if the drums do start or stop, all the cards begin to back up, so that all of a sudden when the drums do stop, you may have 5 or 6 big groups of Mahdi boys coming onto the table all at one time. And then as these guys come on, you roll randomly where they come on the table. Initially when they come on, they've got to come on and sit, and they don't actually activate to the next turn. Their actions are completely controlled by rolling dice, and then there's a graph that takes a look and says, okay, this is what the situation is, this is what you rolled, this is then the result. They will attack, or they'll slink off into the hills, or they'll copy or parallel what the British are doing, as far as kind of like in the movie The Searchers, where the Indians are just following along beside John Wayne. Anyways, I digress.
All right, well, let's get playing, and I need to know again, who is my overall commander?
Colonel Handsome.
Colonel Handsome, Kevin.
The glory is yours.
And believe it or not, on YouTube, he has a following of people of a wargaming group in Scotland. So
2 people?
I think it's 3. Well, our square is advancing for turn 1. You see Kevin and the Highlanders are moving forward. And Derrick and his camel corps are advancing, along with my Egyptian troops. Turn 1, and I think I heard there may be some marksmen in those hill area right there.
Right.
All right.
Actually, the gun was
Let's come back in a little bit and see if we get ambushed. Our British square is advancing.
or they can
Well,
hold their liquor.
It is so nice to be wargaming again with the Chuckle Heads after almost a month and a half of no gaming with them. So our square is moving, and you see my Egyptian troops, which are the superior troops on the table, are advancing along the square. Oh no. What is that coming up out of the hills?
200 marksmen.
200 marksmen.
So you're going to... It was the first time I played this.
Well, everyone, the Mahdi troops there, the riflemen, were firing into the square, and they failed to score any hits.
I think, Mike, you have to roll above the number.
No, because the number goes worse. If it's above, then I hit.
So we are.
Because if you notice, as the number goes, as you get closer, the number goes down. So that means that you
did hit.
Yeah, you did.
Because I rolled a 10.
So now you roll.
We had to check the rules. It's been a little while since we played Sands of the Sudan, and Mike did score a hit. We'll come back and see what the riflemen did to
20 guys.
Mahdi's troops, small arms
to the gun
fire
crew.
table.
All right, everyone, we have an exciting adventure happened here. The riflemen had fired on Derrick's Gardner gun, and they rolled fantastic, killed all 4 crew members. And Derrick lost his Gardner gun on the very opening turn of moving. And Game Master GM Mike, don't you think that was a little harsh?
No. Not at all.
I do.
Okay, because Derrick brought those figures all the way from Nottingham, Perry Hall, and they didn't even get to do anything. You shot them.
They made an appearance.
They got the wolf.
And now their bones will make a
6
dying,
inches.
lasting impression.
All right, so we open up with Arab riflemen killing off our Gardner gun. And according to our GM, Mr. Mike, he says guns cannot be remanned. Is that true, Mr. Mike?
That's what I remember.
Well, bad rulings are the norm in sports.
Field guns, screw guns, or smoothbore guns for crew.
Enemy
Well,
visible within
we have a
72.
Mahdi arrival of
They
10
use
mounted.
tons of stuff.
They are at the far end of the table, though,
You are
luckily for
not in
us.
cover. They are.
We are preparing to move again for turn 2.
So you are more than double them.
Oh yeah.
All right, so we are advancing our square. Colonel Kevin, how are we doing?
Well, we're not lost yet. The one enemy that appeared took a shot at us, killed off our gun crew, and then ran away.
Wow, we lost one of our guns. What was it, Gardner gun, right?
Yes.
But we're under severe drought, so we crawl along at half speed, so we don't go very far.
Excessive heat.
All right. Well, we'll come back to the action and see if the Mahdi player throws some more troops at us.
We'll move Walt up.
I was placed in command of the gunboat, and I fired my, I guess might be an Armstrong artillery piece at 36 inches or so. And rolling spectacular like I did, I killed 3 of the Mahdi forces mounted. And of course, this gunboat will be proving to be destructive throughout the game.
Straight, but we want to, there's no reason for us to get any.
All right, everyone, we're breaking into the action. We're trying to decide what to do with our square.
Is a half a move.
So
Yeah,
the colonel
formation is
and the
that.
major are
changing facing. We're
in
not changing
major
facing.
No, you are.
major discussions.
To
We're
line.
staying in the
Because-
square.
Some want to break from the square, and some want to stay in square. And Colonel Handsome, do you think we should stay in square?
Well, more or less, but I think we should just
You want to wheel?
wheel slightly and
Okay.
go forward another
Sure.
turn. Then we can worry about that.
All right, we're wheeling slightly and moving forward to drive into the Sudan.
Where are we in the turn?
Can I, a foot away from each of these
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
obstacles. Okay. What if we compressed our square
Do a rectangle?
into a rectangle? Yes.
I've got no problem with that.
And then make a beeline up the center. And we wouldn't trigger anything.
Oh, we would. We cannot go up the table without triggering
Triggering
stuff.
all.
The key is to get on one side or the other. So then nothing can show up over there or nothing can show up over here. Make up our... I don't care which way we go.
I would think if we compress too much and you only had like one company or two companies, it makes it to where if anything's coming at them this way
Yeah.
or this way, they're going to overwhelm.
Okay.
And we also need it to where we can have these guys helping to support fire.
Right.
What you know.
Right.
Okay.
So I think 3 wide is good. 4 wide would be better.
Are we ready for turn 3, gentlemen?
Oh, the game master has spoken. Game master,
That was
we spent 20 minutes debating what kind of square formation we should
Now,
continue
those
in.
guys had to take no reaction test.
No.
Okay.
We are continuing with turn 3, is that correct?
We're on to 3.
On to 3.
On to 3. All right, we're moving for turn 3. Mike rolled for enemy forces. We have Fuzzy Wuzzies,
Oh, yes, roll for them.
and they have appeared at the far edge of the table.
When the time comes, but I think
These
Doesn't he do that now?
these troops will be moving soon.
Random card, Monty's reactions.
All right, so you would do your reaction
Yes.
for them. Nothing for them, and we've determined that they don't take one?
Well, no, they'll take one because there's no enemy in sight. There's a chart for
No enemy
that.
in sight. Okay.
It'll tell you like
Okay.
move to the center
For
of
them,
the table or something.
The only thing they see currently is a gunboat with approximately the same number of troops, but not, well, above. Enemy visible.
All right, we'll come back to the action.
Now,
So,
So, Kevin, what's the deal with our new square formation?
well, we wanted to wheel to one side or the other, so we didn't trigger any more ambushes. So we decided to go this way because that one's already clear, and we don't have to worry about that one. And now that one's clear too. We're practically there. We just have to scoot down this side and get to the village.
All right.
We
Well,
might get out of this one alive.
yeah, I think the square formation is doing well. That Walt said, let's stay in the square. And what are we, 10 feet away from the village? And your skirmishers are way the heck up there.
Yep, they're doing their job. Gee.
So our first time with the
my
riverboat.
thoughts are they're going to ignore the boat. As far as,
agree.
because they can't affect it
They have
whatsoever.
nothing to shoot with. All they can do is go and gesticulate at them.
Yes.
Yes.
So they're going to ignore them as far as quantity and numbers.
Right.
That seems reasonable.
So I took out 3 of the Fuzzy Wuzzies with my Armstrong gun on the gunboat. All right, everyone, we're breaking into the action. Our square is now, what's it called, Kevin?
The trapezoid.
Yeah. A rhomboid. Almost.
We have to pause. We have a phone call coming in. All right, fellas, what is this square now called?
A rhomboid?
A mistake. Them damn Egyptians don't know a square corner if they fell into one.
So it's a trapezoid? How come you guys are always blaming my Egyptians?
Well, who's not in line?
Yeah, right. No one told you to kick your butt out there like that.
Well, yeah, Mike did.
Oh. And he listened to
Makes
the
you think, yeah?
My Egyptian troops are fighting gallantly. And Derrick, how are you doing over there?
Marching stolidly.
Marching gallantly.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I know that Kevin skirmishers have decided to form up
Yep.
to take on the Mahdi forces, and we're only about, what do you say, 2.5 feet away from the village.
Oh no, we're
Oh, more than that.
5 feet.
Oh, I meant from Kevin's skirmishers here.
Oh yeah.
The
Yeah,
foreigners.
he's ready to capture it, and I have the gunboat anchored and giving cover fire.
I would like to have some more support come up before I send a.
Breaking into the action, my gunboat, Armstrong gun on the bow, lobbed some more shells into the fuzzy wuzzies around the beach. They cannot get to me, and we knocked out another 4. A couple more turns of firing from the gunboat, and those fuzzy wuzzies will be no longer in the game. Superior firing for the Egyptian commander, Bill Molyneux, with his gunboat. I really wish the rest of the guys in the group here would help me take out some of the enemy forces, because really I think I'm the only one who has killed anything on the table. Kevin, would you agree with that?
No.
Walt, what do you think of that?
I think Bill Kipling is the new role for you, Bill. You're creating things that didn't exist.
So, Mike, I have you on camera. What's going on with your Mahdi troops?
We've got a couple of emirs that have popped on with some good troops, and they are charging.
So it looks like Derrick is
Because
being
the
charged.
drums stopped.
In the initial round of
Wow, and Kevin's moving
Okay,
those
Mike, you're going to make it all the way
Mahdi
over.
troops,
Your cavalry's going to make it all the way over there.
and we have the British square is being hit. Walt, what do you think is going to happen? Will the square hold?
Oh, absolutely. Derrick will repel the first assault by the cavalry, and then everyone else is going to turn out and just wither away the Mahdi boys.
Okay, well, we'll come back in a moment, but our square is...
Because all he can fight with is the number of however many figures you've got. That's all
Yeah.
he fights with.
So this is all going to hit one company.
wow.
What you
Yeah.
tell me? Okay.
So all the figures that are
We
touching
have,
base to base,
The
or
square's
touch-
being hit
or
on
my
several
entire company?
sides.
No,
So
no, no.
what Mike's doing there can only hit one company.
And that's
So-
what they're hitting.
Right.
No.
So
No.
you're in a column.
One
six.
company's the first 2
All right,
units.
we'll
What's
come
next
back
to
and
you?
we'll see if Derrick survives.
You're gonna
Fighting
fight
one
with,
of them.
You're going to fight with 6 guys, and Michael fights.
That's
with
what
6
he's
guys.
telling me.
Okay.
This whole group can fight
Yeah.
one company. That's it.
Derrick, do you think you'll survive?
No.
You're so positive.
So you should put that cavalry in one big column, Mike, because they're not fighting 2 guys. They're fighting 1 guy.
The British square is being attacked by Mahdi forces, and we're coming to Colonel Handsome himself. Colonel, what's going on?
Well, all the modest in the world showed up when the drums stopped, and they all came in right next to us and charged immediately, catching us a bit flat-footed, to be fair.
What's happening to Captain Derrick with his camel corps on that flank?
Well, his guys are all caught in the flank, so they will not fight very well. We have hopes of holding them off, though.
Well, it looks very tense. Of course, the Egyptian forces, commanded by Bill Molyneux, are doing well, and of course there are no Mahdi forces there because they're afraid to attack
Quite
the
right.
Egyptian troops. The Highlanders, I see, have no targets either.
Correct?
So, Colonel Handsome, can you tell me why the square is being attacked so vigorously on
I
that
think
flank?
we'll take that
It's
one,
Mike's
because
fault.
I want to get a shot.
He
from
had all
behind
these
you.
guys show up on that flank.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
And being because the drums stopped, rather than wait a turn to move, they move immediately, under attack orders.
Hold it.
I don't know where he wants.
Well, our square has held this attack by Mike, the good, fair DM. Walt, can you sum up what happened to our square battle?
Well, as when the drums stopped, there were 300 cavalry that came out from behind the village and hit Derrick's dismounted camel corps guys in the flank. The good news is Derrick was able to survive, but the Mahdi guys are now stuck in, so it's going to be a grind where Derrick's camel corps guys are. Then I had a bunch of riflemen charge out of the rocky crop at my mounted camels, and I was able to bounce them. And in the meantime, then we had 60 more Ansar come out of the brush, charging towards the dismounted camel corps guys. So I think the lesson was the next time we're in square, we should start dismounted and not have some of our camels mounted.
So Derrick got caught with his camel corps where he couldn't fire, right?
Yeah, because he got hit in the flank. They couldn't turn to fire at him, and neither could my guys. So it just the way it is. So we're hopefully Derrick can survive this next round and do more casualties. But that's kind of tough because at this stage of the game, they get to fight with more guys than what we got.
Okay.
So we'll see how it goes.
And I notice on this flank, the Egyptians, which I command, are doing fantastic.
Along with the Scots. The Scots are
And the Scots, Kevin's, the Highlanders have done fantastic. And I will swing the camera up to Kevin. Kevin, what do you have to say about how well your Highlanders have been doing?
Well, they've carried out every order impeccably. Of course, they haven't done anything, but
All right.
done more than the Egyptians.
Well, the Egyptians haven't lost a single man.
Poor snake bit Derrick is the one we worry about there.
But Derrick over here on the flank. Derrick, would you like to say anything about how I think you're getting hit hard today.
It's all right. You know, it's used to it.
It's like every week, yeah. That's why he doesn't come here.
It's cool.
And Mike, do you have anything to say about crushing the British square?
It will happen.
He ain't done it.
It will happen.
It will. It won't.
All right, let's get. Where are we going? Turn 7?
We're starting turn 6.
Turn 6. Okay.
And
All right, Kevin, can you give us a recap of our square?
Well, it's a mixed bag, but the square looks like it's going to be breached. Derrick's about done over there. I expect Walt will hold his own here, but it's going to take half his command dying to do it. Our forward progress is stopped. You're going to have to about face and hope nothing comes in behind you.
All right.
And we'll see what we can do.
And yeah, Derrick's been putting up a vicious fight, but he's just being hit hard by all that Mahdi
Got
cavalry.
hit in the flank. Not much you can do about that.
All right. Well, we're going to have lunch and continue our exciting game of the Sands of the Sudan.
That was just bad luck having cavalry show up right on your flank.
yeah, they can charge you before you can get a shot
Yeah.
off or even prepare to shoot at them.
Yeah.
Well, we're putting up a tough fight, and of course the Mahdi forces are coming in where randomly this system, you just don't know where they're going to show up. It's hard to prepare for that.
And we've almost advanced to mid-table.
All right, everyone, we are back from lunch. We have done our movement. Mike, what turn are we on?
We are on turn 7.
We're on turn 7, and our square has repositioned. We took the Egyptian troops and about faced them. And then the Highlanders have moved and about faced.
We just became introspective.
So we are now pointing to fire when Derrick loses that melee with his 6 figures and the Mahdi's forces come breaking through. We will be able to take them down, reform our square. And Walt is defending over here with these camel corps, and we're 100% sure Walt will hold there. And then we'll reform and continue down towards the village. So, but Derrick's put up a wonderful fight, but I don't think he's going to hold out.
9.2.
Yeah,
All right,
that's
break
all
into
of
the
them.
action
That's
a little
all
bit.
of them.
They're resolving the melee here that
Yes.
Derrick
How many guys fighting back?
He's got
6?
is
6.
fighting
So
against
he started at 2.
the Mahdi cavalry that
Yes.
charged his
and you have
flank.
a random factor to roll.
Yes.
A random
And-
6-sider.
Roll a 1.
We're seeing how Derrick will hold up.
3.
3.
Derrick
One,
needs to
one.
hold this
Your 2
because
becomes a 3.
that Mahdi cavalry will be inside our square.
With 6. 1.8. Roll a 10-sided.
Here we go. Derrick's rolling the die.
1.
Yeah.
So you got
2.
2.
So Mike lost 2, and
Yeah,
Now,
the,
when might the Emir die?
I don't know.
Don't know either.
so now how many figures has Derrick lost?
Yes.
10. Oh, he's lost 24.
Are they gone, Derrick?
They're gone.
All right, so Mike's Mahdi forces that are mounted here that hit the flank, I have broken through the square. And we have a big hole there, but we are prepared to defend the interior of the square. Walt and Kevin gave the idea of turning our forces in reverse. Is it inverted? Would that be the correct word, fellas?
What's that?
Are introverted?
Introspective.
So-
our inverted square? No, it's not inverted. It's just
I have a nipple that's inverted.
So,
Perverted?
No,
So-
that's me.
so we are ready. When Mike moves that cavalry into the square, we will
Over there.
be able to
You
bring
are
a massive
This
fire
is my
on.
random. My random's a 5. I'll be a.
-1 to whatever.
Now
yeah,
Walt
I'm
has
a
to
4
hold.
down to a 3.
That sounds right.
3 with, looks like I got 23 guys. 3 23 is 69.
Yep, roll that 10.
69.
Oops.
That's,
So now we're seeing.
that's not a 10, is it?
That's a 1.
All right, we're heading out.
All right, Pumpkin.
All right. Well, we're resolving the casualties. I think
because
Walt
these
lost
guys-
around 11 men, but he held. And the
Well, I only
I'll
suffered
put these
8.
up here.
the
I know.
spearmen, I think
we're
suffered
still
7
winning.
figures. So we are now seeing. Do they fall back, Mike?
No, because we didn't lose.
Okay.
didn't lose.
So they are still engaged in combat. Would that be correct?
Yes.
All right. So Walt's got to fight another round of combat, and but he is keeping them at bay to save the rest of the square.
All right.
All right. Well, the Mahdi cavalry that has finally broken through our square and went through Derrick, they have now wheeled and are attacking the Highlanders. Now, Walt, at the other end, he's been putting up a really tough defense with the rear end of our square, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And Derrick is once again being attacked. But once we drive off these Mahdi troops, we will reform our square.
Eternal optimist.
And Kevin, you are now being attacked. Any input?
Pisses me off. I'm being attacked. You know how I hate to fire a shot in anger.
It is 33.
Well, I'm breaking into the action. Mike's resolving.
3 times 11 is
Kevin's
33.
battalion of
I bet you wouldn't
Highlanders
take long to
decimated
have
the
this
Mahdi
chart
cavalry
memorized.
charge.
And that's one more.
And
Four?
4 guys?
4.
I think
All right.
Just
Wait.
take 4 guys. It doesn't matter where you take them from, Kev.
It doesn't.
Nope.
Not
you're
really.
Gonna,
it's
you're gonna fight
Kevin
that
just
one big
lost
battalion.
a few figures, but
So we lost badly.
all those Mahdi cavalrymen over there have been they're all dead.
And you know what?
And
Once I get a J,
There's only
I
a
can just
couple
turn around and
left.
say, we continue
So
to
the
fight because I've got
firepower
him here.
did fantastic.
So unless I roll snake eyes or boxcars.
You took horrendous casualties. You
Yes.
lost 90% of the unit.
So we do have issues
But
on the
Emir
back.
allows me to adjust by a letter above or below. So if I roll an L,
What
I
happens
can
if
make
you
it an
fight
M.
and die? The Emir's dead?
I
Yeah.
would assume so.
Yeah.
Okay. Then stay and fight.
Oh, I didn't roll snake eyes.
Oh.
You rolled snake eyes?
Yes.
Only you.
Yep. And it's got a J on here.
Yeah. So you can go.
So I
up
can
and
either
down.
go an I or a K.
Or J.
Or keep it as a J, which is run off the battlefield.
That's what you want. Save the Emir.
Okay, well,
That's probably the best thing.
Yep.
That's the more logical.
so Kevin
Just to
has
run
driven them
As
off.
opposed to attack old or new enemy.
But
So
Are-
maybe at this juncture we say screw the square. Everyone start running towards the village. Like,
so at this point we're looking. What plan do you have currently?
currently, I would like the Egyptians to form square.
Okay, I will do that.
No. Fight as a battalion, in line. Let them charge you. You'll beat them.
Okay. All right, we still have about 4 feet to go to the village.
That is very true.
Now we're to your fire. So how many guys you got shooting up there, Kev?
9?
Okay, and what's your range?
No, can't measure it. It's under a foot.
Under
7
a
to
foot.
12.
All
Medium
right,
range.
so-
All right,
7 to
we
12
have
is a 4.
Kevin's firing at that small
Right.
group
Yep.
of fuzzy wuzzies.
Random.
But our
Or-
square has been
Yeah, go ahead.
converted to
4.
the Highlanders in line with
3.
my Egyptians following up
He's
behind.
charging you,
And
which
Walt-
is a
No,
mine.
no, no.
Derrick
Oh,
in the
you fought.
back.
He fled.
Okay.
They've
fled, and at the
they
end of
decided
this
to
week,
do a
I'm
last
sorry, we're just
stand
sitting
rear
here.
action,
Pray.
be sacrificial lambs
So
to
it's
hold
4
off
guys out of 3.
the
9 guys.
So that's still
dervish that
12
are
to
attacking
me.
from the rear.
9 guys.
9 guys.
9
9
guys.
guys
Objective
out
is
of
to
3.
take the village.
No,
Like
and
7.
I'm, double firing. It's
18.
18
Yeah.
guys.
Okay.
And our village
Did you roll the hit?
is
Did you
within
roll
our
the 10-sider?
grasp.
I don't think you rolled the 10-sider.
Oh, didn't I? You're
No,
right.
you rolled the random.
Oh, Mike, what's happened on turn 11? I forgot what turn we're on.
We are on turn 9.
Turn 9. What's going on?
The drums have stopped. And it still has a sandstorm coming, so visibility is still down to just 2 feet. But with noonday prayer being over, everybody has now decided to charge. We've got a fairly significant force of cavalry led by an emir coming in behind what was a square. We've got a large amount of spearmen coming on the other side. And then we've got rifles and more spearmen coming up on this flank of them.
Wow. Well, and then we have the Highlanders and the Egyptian troops holding the center. And I'm going to pivot and ask our Highlander commander, once again, what are we going to do?
We're going to go into battalion lines and prepare to fight off this attack.
And the idea of running?
You cannot outrun them, Bill. How many times do I have to tell you this?
We are fighting to the last.
Right. Besides which, we're English. We don't run.
That's true. But I'm Egyptian.
He's Egyptian.
You canter.
You always run. No, they're not given their due. They performed brilliantly in every game.
Well,
They've all got wiped out, but they performed.
We're going to
brilliantly.
form battalion of line, and defend against the masses that are preparing to launch a jihad attack.
Yeah, we're forming a right angle square.
A right angle square.
Perhaps.
And Derrick, you have a few figures left.
Yeah, they're taking a nice little break right now. They've done their job, and
That's
waiting
Okay.
for the next wave.
And I know
Those
Walt
look good.
still has a small group of Camel Corps figures back there as a rear guard defense. So, all right, stay tuned to see how Kevin and I hold up against the masses coming at us. It is an amazing line.
6,
we've
7.
got.
Got
No,
6
I'm
guys.
just waiting
Seven
for your
at
combat to
6 guys.
resolve.
3.6.
Well, what I'm thinking is from where you're
You
at,
got
if you're
two
within
left.
30 inches,
I
you
got
can shoot that
four
cavalry.
left. 4 left.
Oh.
And
I mean-
so if you
Are they in
roll,
cover though?
We are being hit from several directions.
so I've got
But you've
Yeah,
lost.
It's a long shot,
out of 9.
but and you get one shot,
Come
so
to
you
the
got to
combat.
roll like up. I get to fire 11 guys. So
the rulers
pretty
go?
much, I think anything but a 1.
Kevin's looking for
I roll, I
rulers.
hit. I'm going to fire at a 4,
How far you go, Mike?
5, 6.
8?
8. I rolled a 2.
Okay.
I should be at a 6.
I hope you're
With,
enjoying this
11 guys.
little snippet of.
55 now. Across the top is 6, and down to the 11 is 55. All right, so let's see if I can't do it. Nope, I missed. So I've got 5 more of the Mahdi boys died from fire as they came in.
Well, I wanted to zoom over here to the other side to show you the ton of Arab cavalry that are coming in. And Walt does have camels now, by the
There's
way.
a near there. We're going to continue combat.
Oh.
Those
And
ears are
the
a pain
and there's
in
a
the
mirror.
ass.
These emirs are a real
They add
pain.
one, and then they can just
They adjust them
result by
around.
one letter, is what it specifically says. By
So
one
Walt
letter.
is doing a rear guard
So if you
action
get the J,
back here. And
that's
Derrick, where are
not
you?
Close to an L. So if
I'm
you
taking
look
the
at
hill.
Well, one
Fire
letter
from the hill
below
into the cavalry
from the
and
J,
And
either
that's the
I
last
or
of your
a K.
command, right?
yes.
Well, the K
All
is
right.
attack old or new.
Now, this table is just stunning from this point of view. The Egyptians and Highlanders, under the command of Colonel Handsome, we have a perfect line of.
Tactical wizard.
Is it a battalion of line?
2
It's
battalions.
2 battalions in line, side by side.
Scots and Egyptians.
Okay.
Such a combination.
So
And we are ready
after
just
2
to.
battles, one against each
And
other.
Mike Sudan, these forces will get just. They can't. There's no way with our superior firepower they cannot overcome the British Empire. All right, the camels have arrived. I believe Kim Metis of the Board War Game site from Facebook was asking if the camels were ever going to come into this game, and they have. And then, unfortunately, they are on my flank. Kevin, as overall British commander, what suggestions should I do?
Pray!
Is that pray?
Pray!
Okay.
Loudly!
Because our incredible line is strung out for
It's
about,
not strung out.
3 feet?
It's in a perfect formation.
Well, Derrick, it was nice knowing you, but
But,
I don't think it would be around.
My flank is totally in the open here
And you can't break off combat. in this
to
game.
one heck of a lot of...
I can't, no. And if
troops.
you have the Emir, he'd
All right,
play this
everyone. I just
game
had to stop to show you this table.
as two opponents.
I mean, it's 12
And
feet long.
You have so many Sudanese on one side, and you have
And-
so many Brits on the other, and you go at it.
That
We
would be
have
tough.
some
We
phenomenal...
call it the sword and flame.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
I
right.
mean, that's what I mean.
Or
For
the
this
menu
game
would be
system,
king.
that would be good
Oh.
because it's
Which I'd love to play the sword and flame again.
the randomness of the cards is what makes it interesting. But
Look at that
there's
camel
some
core.
things it just doesn't deal with.
All right.
That I could find.
Now we're moving
I
out
think you
along
can
our
easily
line
correct,
here.
personally, but-
Well, that's like saying only one unit versus a battalion in line. I'm going,
So,
and yet you're so wide. Why couldn't
now,
that
Walt
unit
Leach
come in?
has gallantly decided
One unit on one
One
unit.
unit.
to have his one
And a
unit
can
here
be a company.
hold
or
off
It can be a battalion.
this
So who
entire
chooses if it's a company or a battalion?
Well,
Horde
it depends on your formation.
Does
to
it?
keep the
Well, that's
Mahdi
what I'm
forces
saying.
from hitting our
Again,
Egyptian
but
and
If I have a
Highlander
company
line.
here and a company here,
Now,
if I-
Derrick has
different
Fight
opponents,
individually.
moved his
can't.
But
figures
if I've got one
into a
big
defensive position
unit,
with
yeah,
ammo
I might be able to
packs.
hit both units.
Yeah, but they can't.
Not according to
Quite
how we-
impressive.
Doesn't mean that we can't adapt it otherwise.
Well,
All right, we're going to get
possibly allow them to
back to
split
playing. The
back.
guys gave me a few minutes here to
Especially if
film
you're such a long
the
line.
table because it is so
It's
stunning.
supposed to be in a deep column.
Right.
And this is what miniature wargaming is all about.
And I think that's what he intends for the modest.
All right, well, Derrick, I think probably I got to ask Derrick, do you think Kevin's grumpy?
Oh, yeah.
So,
From the get-go.
Kevin, I know you needed to roll anything but a 1 for your entire battalion to hit. Would you like to let us know what happened?
Yes.
Okay, I gather that means you did not roll
I was
well.
cursed.
He rolled a 1.
He rolled a 1.
Molyneux, speak it aloud, and of course it happened.
All I said was, don't roll a 1.
And what happened?
You rolled a 1.
You identified it. You should say, don't roll a 6.
No, you should say roll 2 or better.
Okay, I should have said roll a 2 or better, don't roll a 1.
Yeah, definitely.
So,
So now we remove 24.
No, I'll take them all.
do you need a happy hug?
No.
All right, we broke into the action. It's what turn are we on, Mike?
We're on turn 11.
Turn 11, and we have the Mahdi forces along the one edge. Kevin's superior Highlanders are still holding out. We have our gun. We still have a Sandstorm, so our gun can't fire at long range. Egyptian forces are being hit on this flank.
3 turns.
And we have one heck of a lot of Mahdi forces coming. Let's get a close-up. Hold on, everyone. And here we are looking from the Mahdi land. Mike, how many mounted Arabs are there? I can't tell. It looks like
60.
50. 60. And they are heading towards my Egyptian and Kevin's Highlander line from the back. We have one artillery piece that will try to give us some cover fire.
Yeah.
Derrick is still holding out with about 6 figures, 8 figures on the ridge, and I believe Walt has 2 as our rear guard action.
Yes.
And Walt is and Walt is doing great, holding up 10 spearmen. All right, and once again, it is an incredible game with incredible figures and great war gamers. I don't know. I think the battalion line is doing great, but being attacked from the rear will be an issue. All right, we'll come back later, see how we're doing. All right. Our line right now
Those guys.
unfortunately, it looks like it's going to get, my Egyptians are getting hit in the front,
See something slightly
the
less
flank,
than them,
and 60
but not
mounted
2-1, so it'd be same as.
mounted horsemen. And Mike is rolling dice
An even.
for morale checks.
They go for
Also,
high ground. So they're
we
gonna
we
go
have
up there with
They're
them.
going to join these guys.
we have
Yeah,
the
that
makes more
camels
sense
way
to
over
them.
there yet too. Oh, wonderful
So
game.
those have been their reactions.
Make sure these
The
are
chances
same
of
as-
holding out now are getting bleak.
Nothing we should take.
Derrick, however, is up on a ridge with his 8 men doing fantastic work.
I think it's best if they charge in the cav.
Right,
They
well-
gotta go 12.
Mike is, as the game master, is moving his forces.
Here, Mike, I'll help you out.
We have Kevin helping out, and it looks like they are hitting my flank.
15 wide. So
All
he
right.
can only match you with 15.
Okay.
So the massive attack of the Arab cavalry are hitting my Egyptian
So
troops.
the question becomes, Kevin, are you able to, in your turn and get in a position where next turn you can charge his cavalry in the flank?
It looks
Unit on
bleak.
unit.
You tell me.
I don't know. Well, it's because it talks about.
It talks about some other people entering a combat.
All right.
In which
I
case
saw
they
that.
would have charged into the flank then, if that was the case.
I think my Egyptian troops are in trouble.
Yes, you tell me how. I don't have a problem with you doing that either, Mike, because I don't see a target for some
All
of your
right.
islanders.
Wow.
to
This
turn
looks
around.
extra bleak, but I believe I will outroll Mike, the Mahdi player.
Did these guys move?
Yes.
The camels.
The camel oops. Sorry about that, everyone. I jungled the camera a little bit. Our camels are there, and they look awesome. So, is it the turn for our British players?
To move yet.
Okay.
All right.
4. And
Wow.
random roll.
We're getting ready to
one.
see how my
Plus 1.
Egyptians hold out here, everyone.
5.
It's the Highlanders have done a really cool maneuver. They formed
It is
a march
17.
column, and they're going to try to hit the Mahdi forces on the flank
I'm
next
good.
turn.
So that would
Battalion
be
column, you'll
two
see
guys.
there's half of it.
2 guys down.
It's a half a battalion.
So you
not
lost.
lose
And,
bad.
Right.
we're hoping
Well,
Kevin
If you
will
hadn't killed
save
them,
me.
then it would
Right.
We'll give it a shot, Bill.
Holy cow, Walt, what's coming on the table now?
Oh, more camels.
More camels. We have just mighty forces coming in from everywhere, everyone. This is probably one of the best Sands of the Sudan games I played with the Chuckle
Less than
Heads.
24.
About 18.
And we
Okay.
are, and I believe
So,
Walt
I
has
don't see a change in their situation at this moment.
60
How far do you
camels
go?
coming in.
Is it 60 or 40?
I thought it was 60.
I thought
It was 40.
Was it 40?
Yes.
All right. So they're coming in from over there. The village I have captured with my sailors. Now my Egyptian troops
And now there will be a change in their situation.
are desperately trying to hold off, but it's looking bleak.
Yeah, they don't see
Because they
anybody.
don't see anybody except maybe.
And we have
the,
Kevin
skies
coming
on
in
the
with his
hill.
Highlanders.
Yeah, they
Jim
probably
O'Neill,
can't
the
see
Highlanders
them.
are fighting gallantly, but I don't know.
Yeah,
Now that we have more camels coming.
much closer to the edge there.
Now,
All
there
right,
was
we'll
a-
come back to the action a little
if you
bit.
hit the stick back,
Breaking
and
into
looks
the
like-
action, everybody.
Is that six
Mike's
that
doing
was
morale
there?
They killed
checks.
4.
Two,
They
but,
killed
um,
4 that are back further.
My Egyptians are slowly being whittled away.
No, 6.
Now
No,
Kevin
those 6 were
came in
killed
on the flank
by-
with the
I felt fully
Highlanders
by the,
to
to try to break up this
So
attack, but
what did they
it
kill?
the 4.
really wasn't enough to do
'Cause
it.
I'm seeing a unit of 6 in the
Oh,
back.
And they're
there
still
were
coming
4
in.
the back before.
No,
What
I don't
happened to
think
the
I
3
can
guys
hold them
that were
off.
Here?
I
The
put
3.
them over there.
All
I
right.
just put them away.
It's,
This is fun.
looking
They're
bleak,
going.
everyone.
Don't worry about it. It'll, if you know.
Okay.
All right, Mike. We are at the end of our game. Can you tell me your viewpoints?
British Square dies.
It,
And it's mostly dead now, it just doesn't know it.
We
The
know it.
sailors that are in the town are all going to get venereal diseases before they vacate because the British Square is not getting to them. I've got camels over here. I've got camels over there. I've got troops that are now going to be able to push the sailors out of the building. And I've now got a gun that shortly will be able to open fire on their little rickety boat and sink it.
Balderdash.
All
And
right.
we've taken the hill that's been a little bit of a nuisance for me.
So, Derrick, that was your hill that you were defending to the last.
Yes.
And
That's the hill he chose to die on.
all right, this has been a great game. Now our square sort of collapsed, and I got to get to Kevin and Walt next. Kevin, I'll come to you as our Scottish Highlander commander, overall commander. What's your viewpoint of today's battle?
I think today's game, first, it was enjoyable. It also was enlightening. I think we have come to realize a couple of major problems with the rules, which are easy to fix, and we have changed them for the latter part of the game, and it has helped tremendously. So if we play these sort of modified rules moving forward, it'll be a much better game. Because frankly, playing them as they seem to be written, it appears to us virtually impossible for the Imperial forces to win, because modists are coming in from all directions of the compass, and there's just nothing you can do about it.
And I know that you came to bail my butt out with this your gallant Highlander attack with my Egyptians. I'm going to go to Walt next, and well, Walt, what's your view of today's game?
Well, I've been captured, and I have to ask my two other fellow commanders, or even for you too, Bill. Did you decide to switch faiths, or did you decide to die?
For me, I'm dying with my Egyptian troops.
Okay.
However, we do have a problem where all of a sudden Goober the Traveling Bear is wearing a turban.
Like Mike. Oh, Lord.
Looks like
gotta-
he turned his underwear inside out. Is what it looked like.
Well, he's joined the Mahdi forces.
Big night
So-
on the town. Yeah.
So Kevin, are you converting to Islam, or are you?
Oh, hell no.
All right. How about you, Mr. Derrick? Are you a realist like me, and you're going to convert rather than live than to die?
No, I like bacon too much.
Oh,
I thought he died with his boots on.
well,
Yeah.
then I can get to write the history and tell everybody what cowards you guys were.
Well, and I have to say it's great to be back with everyone, and this is a great wargaming group and great guys to play miniature wargaming with. And we're going to close this out with happy
trip to the
Thanksgiving
dentist,
to
I guess.
everyone. Stay safe, be kind, be courteous. And Kevin,
Yes, sir.
you have several fans in Scotland, Jim O'Neill and his wargaming group. Can you say a little something in Scottish for them?
Nay! It boggles my mind that I have fans at all, and let alone fans in Scotland. But I say,
Nay.
good day!
All right. Stay safe, be kind, be courteous, everyone, and watch another exciting episode of the Chuckle Heads at Walt's Secret Lair.